نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Respected and dear viewers and listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This program of Quranic understanding is being presented by Adult Quranic Education Program Srinagar. Today we are continuing this understanding. We have started second chapter Al-Baqarah, and today we shall start from verse number 11. Al-Baqarah verse number 11. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. وَإِذَا, and when قِيلَ لَهُمْ, it is said to them, لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, don't spread corruption in earth. قَالُوا, they say, إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ, verily, we are reformers or we are peace lovers. Allah, but beware of believers, or unquestionably, إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ, they and they alone are corrupters or mischief mongers. وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ, but they perceive it not. وَإِذَا, and when قِيلَ لَهُمْ, it is said to them, آمِنُوا, you too believe, كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسُ, as others have believed. قَالُوا, they say, أَنُّؤْمِنُ, should we believe, كَمَا آمَنَ السُّفَهَاءُ, as these foolish people have believed? Allah, beware, or unquestionably, إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ السُّفَهَاءُ, in fact they and they alone, they are foolish. وَلَكِنْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, but they understand it not, or they know it not. وَإِذَا, and when لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, when they meet believers, قَالُوا, they say, آمَنَّا, that we too believe. وَإِذَا, and when خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ, when they are alone with their evil ones, or with their satans, with their leaders, قَالُوا, they tell them, إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ, in fact we are with you. إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ, we are only mocking on these believers. Allahu yastahzi'u bihim, Allah throws back their mockery upon them. وَيَمُدُّهُمْ, and gives them a long rope. فِي طُغْيَانِهِمْ, in their transgression, يَعْمَهُونَ, they wander like blinds. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ, these are the people, اشْتَرَوُا الضَّلَالَةَ, who have bought or purchased error بِالْهُدَى, for guidance. فَمَا رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ, this transaction is not going to benefit them or give them any profit. وَمَا كَانُوا مُهْتَدِينَ, and they are not rightly guided. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. I hope you remember, this is a continuous statement. Right from verse number 1 we started of Al-Baqarah. That way I told you that Quran prepares us for the onward transmission of this divine message. And we are foretold, we are warned, before delivering the message, we are made to believe, to be sure, or true believers. Once you convey the message, you will see among the humans three kinds of people. One will be pious and righteous, who shall readily accept your message and become a part of this Ummah community. And there will be some people who shall point blank reject your message and will not be ready even to listen or even to look at you. They'll close their eyes and ears and block their minds. These are the deliberate rejectors of faith. Third kind of people you will find among the humans, that they are hypocrites. They will say with their tongues, declare with their lips and tongues, that we too believe in Allah and the last day, but beware, they are not believers. They are only trying to cheat and deceive you. In their hearts is disease of hatred against you, disease of enmity, disease of hypocrisy, disease of arrogance. They are your sworn enemies from within. So beware about them. In their hearts is in fact a disease which Allah has increased manifold. This third kind of group of people, we call them munafiqin or hypocrites. Today, in today's verses, from verse number 11, which we are studying today, characteristics of these hypocrites have been highlighted and explained, so that a true believer remains conscious and he's alert towards these enemies from within, because internal enemies are more dangerous and fatal than the open enemies. You can face open enemy anywhere, you can defend yourself, but it is very difficult to identify the enemies from within. They are the munafiqin or hypocrites. That's why in today's verses, 3 basic characteristic features of these hypocrites have been highlighted. When it is said to them, that with these hypocrites, La tufsidu fil ard, don't spread corruption or mischief on earth. Qalu, they say, Innama nahnu muslihu, no, we are peace lovers, we are reformers. This speaks of the first characteristic, that why these hypocrites join the ranks of believers, try to become part of ummah or part of community, because they want to spread corruption and mischief and divisions and confusion. They want to chaos and confusion within the rank and file of true believers. It is with this agenda, secret agenda, they penetrate into the rank and file of believers. Basically, they want to spread corruption, mischief, chaos, confusion, internal dissension, internal troubles. And when they are warned, when it is said to them, why are you doing this? This is unbecoming of a true believer. If you claim to be the believers by a verbal declaration, but your actions are contrary to that. You're spreading corruption, misunderstandings, and confusion. This characteristic of hypocrites, and other characteristics connected with it, they shall start swearing. We swear by God, we swear by this, and by father, by mother, by this and that. And that no, that's not true. We are in fact peace lovers. We would like to maintain peace. But Quran says, no, don't get deceived by their assurances. They are hypocrites. They are enemies from within. That's why Quran says, Allah, unquestionably, or beware of believers. Innahum humul mufsiduna. Don't go by their verbal assurances. The fact is that they are mischief mongers. They want to spread corruption. What corruption here means? Moral corruption, spiritual corruption. Any kind of corruption. It's not only corruption. It doesn't mean to bribe, to give or accept money through illegal means. That's only one form of corruption. Corruption, there are 101 ways of corruption. So here corruption means mischief, creating problems, internal dissension, misunderstandings, and chaos and confusion. When it is said to them, La tufsidu fil ard, don't spread this corruption and mischief on earth. Qalu, they say, Innama nahnu muslimun. No, the fact is that we are peace lovers. We want peace and we are reformers. But believers are warned, beware about these enemies. Innahum humul mufsidun. The fact is that they are corrupters, they are mischief mongers. Walakil la yashurun, but they perceive it not. That means they perceive it not. They try to cheat and deceive you by their verbal declarations. The way they are cheating you by declaring themselves to be Muslims or believers. Same way, they will say that we are peace lovers, we don't want mischief. But don't be cheated by them. This is first characteristic of these hypocrites. Now the second characteristic, it said, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, when it is said to them, Aminu, you too believe, kama amanas, as others have believed. Others here means as other true believers have believed. Why don't you believe like have established your beliefs the way others, true believers have? They say, Quran says, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, when it is said to them, Aminu, you too believe, kama amanas, as others have believed. Qalu, what they say? They say, Anuminu, should we believe kama amana sufaha, as these foolish people have believed? Remember, this thing is to be marked. This thing, it is very important point. if these hypocrites, once they were told you to believe as others have believed, right? If they would say with their tongues that should we believe like these cheats, like these foolish people, that means pointing fingers and accusing true believers. Imagine, God forbid, like Abu Bakr, Ali, Umar, and Abu Hurairah and others, accusing them as foolish. That means that very time they will be exposed. They cannot be true believers by pointing fingers towards true believers and declaring them foolish or so far weak-minded people. Here you have to remember one thing. This thing they would not utter with their tongues. That when they are told, they are asked, believe as others have believed, they would not say with their tongues that should we believe as these weak-minded and foolish people have believed, and declaring other true, the real believers to be fools. They would not utter these words by their tongues. That time they would be fully exposed. With words, with their tongues, they would say, yes, we'll try. We're trying our best to emulate them. We're surely trying to follow them, O messenger of God. But in the hearts of hearts, they would say, should we believe like these foolish people who sacrifice everything for the cause of this Islam and faith? They are fools. They are laying down their lives for nothing from their own standards. They are offering their own whole wealth, their earnings for the propagation of faith or for wars and everything. They are foolish ones. They think they would say in their hearts, in their minds, not on their tongues. But since with Allah, our hearts, our lips and our hearts are the same. Like this, I am this time speaking something. You can only know my verbal declaration, what I say with my lips or tongues. You don't know what's in my heart. I may hear your voices. It will be just your declarations. I don't know what's in our hearts. But, so we can be cheated with each other, by each other, right? But for Allah, it is the same. He knows, Allah knows what I am saying with my tongue, what are my vocal cords producing the sounds, and He simultaneously knows what is in my heart and mind. It is the same to Allah, heart and mind. So that's why Quran says when they are asked, you believe as others have believed, they say, should we believe as these foolish people have believed? This they would not utter with their tongues, but they would think likewise in their hearts. Since with Allah, lips, tongue, and heart is the same. Number one, this is its meaning. Otherwise, they would be exposed there and then. Number two, it may also mean once they would meet each other in isolation. When they were alone with each other, that time they would tell each other, oh, people, there were a good chunk of people, good number of people, these hypocrites, they would talk to each other and say, why should we believe like these foolish people? But since Allah knows what they say publicly and what they say privately, that's what is here. That's stupid. Otherwise, some people get confused. What does it mean? وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, and when it is said to them, Aminu, you too believe, kama amana nas, as others have believed. Qalu, they say, Anu'minu, should we believe, kama amana sufa, as these foolish or weak-minded people have believed? Allah, but beware, innahum humus sufa, they alone are foolish and weak-minded. Walakin la ya'lamun, but they know it not. They understand it not. This is the second characteristic feature of hypocrites. Now the third characteristic. Quran says, وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ, and when, وَإِذَا means and when, laku means meeting, mulaqat as we say in Urdu. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, when they meet or when they talk to believers, qalu, they tell them, Amana, we have believed, we are also part of your community. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا means to be alone, to be in isolation. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ, and when they are alone with their shayateen, Satans. It's not, here Satan is plural, used in plural sense. It doesn't mean Iblis. When Quran uses word shaitan singular, that means Iblis, who disobeyed in the first instance. When it is used in plural, it means those people who follow satanic agenda. That means they are leaders. They are evil ones. those who mislead them, when they meet their Satans, their evil ones, separately, and when they are alone with them, qalu, they tell them, inna ma'akum. The fact is that in fact we are with you. Innama nahnu mustahzi'un. We are only mocking or cheating or deceiving believers. So this is kind of the characteristic feature of hypocrites. When they meet the believers, they tell them we believe. When they are alone with their Satans, with their evil ones, with their so-called leaders, evil leaders, they tell them, inna ma'akum. In fact, we are with you. Innama nahnu mustahzi'un. We are only mocking on these believers. Quran, Allah says, in response to this mocking, Allahu yastahzi'u bihim. In fact, Allah throws their mockery back on them. That they try to mock and believers, but it's not going to hurt them. It's not going to make any damage on them. In fact, these people are damaging their own future, damaging their own life, more so damaging their life hereafter, where they'll have to face total disaster and annihilation in the form of fire of hell. So Quran, Allah says, Allah yastahzi'um. Allah throws back. Literally it means Allah yastahzi'um. Allah mocks at them. But it's not that somebody mocks at somebody and Allah also mocks the same way. That's why we translate it like this, just to make an explanation and make things easier. We say Allah yastahzi'um. Allah throws back their mockery upon them. وَيَمُدُّهُمْ, and gives them a long rope. That means He doesn't seize them immediately for their deception, for their cheating, for their wrongdoings, for their corrupt practices, for their mischiefs. He gives them a long rope. Why? So that they think and realize their own mistakes and reform themselves and fall in line. But that doesn't happen. Allah yastahzi'u bihim. Allah throws back their mockery upon them. Vayamudum. He gives them a long rope just to reform them and amend themselves. But what happens? Fi tughyanihim ya'mahun. They take it as their success, and they move around like blinds in the transgression. They don't take any advantage of this time frame which is granted them to mend themselves, but they become more and more. Tughyan means transgression. Yamahun means they move like blinds in the transgression. About these people, I hope you remember, once we did the characteristics of true believers, who believe in unseen, who believe in Allah, the last day, who believe in, who establish prayers, who spend out of wealth which Allah has provided them. They believe in Quran as the word of God. They believe in previous scriptures. And then they have certain and perfect faith in the life hereafter. About these people, Quran says, "Ulaika ala hudan min rabbihim wa ulaika humul muflihun." They are under the guidance of the Lord, and they are going to attain success. Now the characteristics of hypocrites have been explained in these verses, and at the end of this characteristics, Quran says, "Ulaika alladhina," these hypocrites. Ulaika, these are the ones. These are the people. Ishtara means to buy or purchase. Ulaika alladhin, these are the people. Ishtarabu dalala. Dalala means error. These are the people. Ulaika alladhin ishtarabu dalala. These are the people who have bought or purchased dalala, error, bilhuda, for guidance. That means through beloved Prophet, the merciful Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, the path of error was made distinct from path of piety and righteousness and guidance. But what they did, these hypocrites, they rejected path of piety and guidance. Instead, they purchased or bought path of error. So this is a disaster for themselves, which they create disaster, they create themselves for them. Quran says, Ulaika alladhina, about these hypocrites. These are the people, Ishtar dalala, who bought error, bil huda, for guidance. Then Quran says, just to make things easier for us, فَمَا رَبِّحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ. In this transaction, this commercial transaction, there is no benefit for them, because they are the losers. Guidance was before them, path of paradise was before them, made clear and manifest, and path of hell and disaster was before them. They preferred path of disaster, path of hell, instead of path of piety and path of paradise and Jannah. That means this is a transaction which is not going to benefit them. They have themselves, of their own free will, they have chosen path of destruction. They are the losers. Quran says, "Ulaika alladhina," about these hypocrites, again remember it, "Ulaika alladhina," these are the people, "ishtarawu dalala," who have purchased or bought error, bil huda, for guidance. Fama rabihat tijaratuhum. There is no benefit for them in their transaction, in this transaction. Wama kanu muhtadin. And they are not guided, they are not on the path of guidance. They are on the path of error and path of destruction. This is about hypocrites. Sadaqallahu al-Azim wa sadaqa rasuluhu an-Nabiyyul Kareem walhamdu lillahi rabbil alameen.